So Victor, these three planes that we're going to see are all really closely connected. The Skyhawk went into service in 1956. The F-4 Phantom went into service in 1961. And the F-14 went into service in 1974. And they all dogfighted with each other in training over where we're going. My friend Victor Scalco and I are entering the Barium Goldwater Range. This is an active military training range. Access is controlled and you're required to sign in and carry a permit. Once you're cleared, you're on your own, literally hundreds of square miles of desert. About 20 miles in, we came across something quite unexpected. We found count them, 6 M-42 Dusters. These Vietnam-era anti-aircraft tanks were absolutely amazing. We spent quite a bit of time there looking them over, and were totally surprised when we found out that the elevation cranks worked and the turret cranks worked. Oh, it works!
Oh, come on!
Hang on. Go ahead.
You ready?
Uh-huh.
Target 5 o'clock!
These 1950-era vehicles had twin Beaufort 40mm cannons. They were a proven World War II design. They really became famous during the Vietnam War and were used for ground support, perimeter defense, and convoy security. In Vietnam, it earned a strong reputation with infantry units for high-volume fire, devastating anti-personnel capability, and reliability in harsh conditions. One Duster battalion commander famously remarked, "The Air Force may own the skies, but the Duster owns the tree line." From here, we made our way to the crash site of the A4 Skyhawk. Look at the crater it made. On February 17, 1976, the A4 collided with the F4 Phantom. The pilot ejected safely. So Victor, this is the first air wreck you've ever been at?
It's the first crash site I've ever seen. Yeah. It's really cool.
Is it what you expected?
Oh, way more intense.
Intense.
The emotion that you get seeing what would have been going through the mind of the pilots at the time. This is the first crater I've seen.
And this crater is amazing, isn't it?
Yeah, just to think the amount of force, the sheer force of that unit hitting. And then when you see the landing gear scattered up front, and the amount of impact for the engine. I mean, this jet engine is just completely pancaked. Never seen that before. Sadly,
the captain piloting the F4 Phantom did not make it through this crash.
There's got to be a part number on this one.
Yeah. Look at this, how still it's this hydraulic. Is that a?
Yeah, it's a hydraulic ram. Goes inside this piece right here.
Yeah.
Capacitors.
Are what?
These are capacitors. Capacitors? Yeah, these are like capacitors. You see all the power we're going here? Uh-huh. And it's like relays and capacitors. It even has access. You can take it apart and replace the fuses. See all the capacitors?
Okay.
These are like...
The F-14 Tomcat wreck was only a couple of miles away. It experienced dual engine issues and entered a flat spin. Both crew members ejected safely. This is the same kind of accident portrayed in Top Gun: loss of thrust, flat spin, eject.
Mayday, mayday. Mav's in trouble. He's in a flat spin. He's heading out to sea. Altitude 8,000, 7,000, 6. I'm trying. Eject. Watch the canopy.
The Tomcat landed flat because of the flat spin. Much of the aircraft's structure is still recognizable. Definitely one of the most impressive sights on the range. Both crewmen survived this crash. The pilot, Lieutenant G.B. Holthus, and his Rio, Lieutenant J.G. L.P. Mooch, parachuted safely to the ground and were picked up by helicopters later on in the day. From here, we headed to the final site, which belonged to the F-4 Phantom that crashed on February 17, 1976. Sadly, the pilot, Captain George C. Land, of the United States Marine Corps, was killed. This is another impressive wreck site, particularly since the tail of the F-4 Phantom which is quite distinct, shows up so well. We took our time to look around at some different parts of the wreck.
Airspeed indicator, or there's an airspeed indicator or a sensor for airspeed or wind flow. This guy.
Okay.
It's the airspeed indicator. Looks like it's the inlet of one of the motors. If you look at here, looks like an inlet of one of the engines.
Oh. It's right down there on the side where it has that big wide open.
And judging from the wording, this would be mounted to the plane. This would be hanging below it. This has an actual location, like magnetic drop right here. And then this appears to be either an armament missile of some sort.
Yes, it looks like it has a little engine, a little jet engine on the back.
Yep.
Well, I'll ask Dave about that too.
That's a missile rack of some sort. We
finished our desert adventure with a brief ceremony honoring the lost pilot. So it was February 17th, 1976, when Captain George C. Land and his Rio were in this F-4 Phantom. They were doing maneuvers with an A4 Skyhawk that day. The pilot of the A4 ejected and the parachute deployed with no problem because they'd collided. But apparently the ejection didn't go so well for the two men on the F4 here. The pilot was killed. George C. Ladd was killed in the ejection process, but his Rio was able to survive. His name was Lieutenant Michael D. Garland. But we're here to honor Captain Ladd for his sacrifice to the service of our country.
We'll take a moment of silence and remember our captain. Well, I thank you, Bill. This has been an amazing trip.
It was fun.
Yeah.
Thanks for joining us on this amazing desert adventure. If you like this video, please like and subscribe. I look forward to seeing you again when we look for other desert adventures.